Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fortress of Solitude, and today we're going to be talking about a very special event issue in that of Ultimate Invasion issue 1 by Jonathan Hickman and Bryan Hitch. Hickman makes his big return to Marvel Comics properly this time, setting into motion the return of the Ultimate Universe, beginning with freeing the Maker from his damage control prison, and most of the issue we follow the Maker as he goes around the Earth enacting his plan to finally return home to Earth 1610, which sets him on a collision course with the Illuminati, who have sort of regrouped in the wake of the Maker stealing something from each of them, which when combined will open a portal back to the seemingly reborn Ultimate Universe. I thoroughly enjoyed having this version of the Maker back, this cold calculating Reed who has a contingency for contingencies, his plans have plans, and so on. I think with any other writer outside of Hickman and maybe Donny Cates, who wrote him a little bit in Venom, there aren't too many writers who could make that sort of character compelling or work at all and not come off as some sort of Deus Ex Machina walking or a Gary Stu. It's also just a lot of fun watching him go through the motions of his grand plans and how you can tell little things like Miles rejecting his offer to join him doesn't really affect him at all, and it's kind of like this mere annoyance to him, and it's just so below him to think of that sort of stuff. It's just so much fun seeing that. There is also this feeling of Hickman kind of writing himself as the character, especially in the scene where he kills the hit team sent to rescue him. Maker has this long-winded speech about how one of the guys was a last-minute change on the team and how that could have messed up everything and he could have been still locked up, but luckily he had a plan for that. It felt like maybe he was talking about his time coming off of X-Men or the Avengers, or hell, even the original stuff he did in the Ultimates. And I mean, one of the guys actually did sort of kind of look like Brian Michael Bendis a little bit, but I don't know, maybe I'm just thinking about it a bit too much, reading into it a bit too much, but it definitely feels like there is something there that Hickman is getting off his chest a little bit through the Maker. Like this entire thing is him getting his chance to do the Ultimate Universe his way and not have people like Mark Millar or Brian Michael Bendis interfering in any way. Probably the most interesting thing this issue does broach is the Miles Morales situation, since Miles is from the Ultimate Universe and he remembers it, prompting the Maker to try and entice Miles to return with him, comparing them to brothers since they share a common world. I didn't think that Hickman would actually get to this story as quickly as he did, but I'm really happy he did, since it's one of those that's been on the mind of a lot of people, since we do know that Miles has known about the Ultimate Universe ever since really he came from the Ultimate Universe. So to finally kind of tap into that story and kind of bring it back around is really cool. Bryan Hitch also returns to the book as well, not skipping a beat and falling back into his just brilliant cinematic artwork that really helps make Hickman's script feel so grand. Not that it actually needed that help, since the story itself is pretty big. I'm pretty surprised at how brutal and a little gross the action is in this issue. Right off the bat, we've got people being blown in half by sonic cannons and grenades going off in their faces, as well as some really gnarly body horror sequences. It's all really great stuff, and when it's done in Hitch's signature style, it makes it that much more impactful since it feels real. Speaking of impactful, Hickman caps the first issue off with one hell of a cliffhanger, showing us the Maker back in the Ultimate Universe, albeit much earlier in the timeline. In fact, it's on the same day that Peter Parker is to be bitten by his spider, which the Maker prevents from happening, bottling the spider to keep for himself, and thus changing the course of the Ultimate Universe, maybe into one with not too many heroes, or one he can rule over or control. I'm very excited for Hickman to explore the Ultimate Universe again, and if Hickman can keep this up and this level of intrigue and surprises up, I think we're in for something special on the level of his X-Men run. Jonathan Hickman and Bryan Hitch make an absolutely stellar return to the Ultimate Universe, teasing out a brilliant layered storyline that looks to pick up from a myriad of teasers and threads that have been left to languish over the last few years regarding characters like the Maker and the Illuminati. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10, so jump in now, since it's probably the best time to do so, since you'll be able to experience more about the Ultimate Universe as we enter the next phase of the Ultimate Universe with the relaunch coming up later on this year. Hey everybody, and thank you for checking out this video. If you're interested in any more, why not check out what's happening over in Gotham with Batman as he battles the Penguin's children and his own mind over in Batman issue 136. Or maybe you want to stick around in the City of Tomorrow and check out what John Henry Irons has in store for the city and its villains in Steelworks issue 1.